so on the night I was travelling back towards Tooting Broadway on the Northern Line. It was about 11:30 at night, and I'd been out somewhere to the theatre, I think. So then gentleman got on at Balham, and I was on my own, and he sat directly opposite me. I realised something was a bit amiss when he sat in front of me and was smiling at me really intensely, and at first I thought he was just a bit over friendly. So I was glancing up and trying to do like an awkward "please stop staring at me" smile, and carried on reading. I was reading a play or something, but he didn't break his focus the whole time. So that's when I started feeling a little bit aware and uncomfortable of the situation. When we got up to get off at Tooting Broadway, I stood up and he came behind me, and I felt a hand brush across my bottom. But initially I thought it was just with the hustle and bustle of getting off the tube, so I didn't think initially that it was anything untoward. And then I got off the tube. At the station, so he followed me through the tunnel and then proceeded to put his hand on my bottom again and said something to me initially. I didn't hear that, and then he carried on chatting, and I heard him say, "You've got a very innocent face, do you understand? I like it." And that's when I knew that this was a bit untoward, and I didn't really know what to make of the situation. I was a bit shocked, to be honest. And he carried on talking to me, continued to keep putting his hand on and off my bottom, and then we walked up the escalator, and I tried to think of some sort of action plan, and I went up the walking side of the escalator, thinking, oh well, he won't follow me, he surely wouldn't follow me, but he did. And I looked behind me and he was right behind me, and I thought, right, I'm going to go into the queuing side on the right hand side, and I went into the queue and nearly knocked a Polish lady off the escalator. I went, oh, I'm very sorry. But then he came and wedged himself right beside me and then had his hand on my bottom for the entire journey up the escalator, carried on talking to me. I don't remember what he said, I just remember thinking I need to get out of this station. And so at the gates, I went to the right hand side and he went to the left, and he said something else to me, and I just went, okay, thank you, and then walked out, and that was that. I think I was just in shock, and I tried to ring my flatmate, but he didn't pick up because it was about 12 o'clock by this point. So I was like, I don't know what to do. I just wanted to get home because I didn't live very far from the station. But all I remember thinking from the moment that it started was I need to get out of the station and I need to get home. And probably other people's instincts might have been to create a scene or to say something to him, but I didn't know if he had a knife on him. I definitely felt confident that something would be done after the first phone call, because they were very, very keen to get the ball rolling and get me to give a statement, do an identification parade if they found the gentleman. So I was confident that they were going to do their absolute utmost to try and get this sorted one way or another. The London Transport Police were actually fantastic. They made me feel like I wasn't just a nuisance in a way, like it's not a nuisance case, it's, they wanted to get the matter sorted, they believed in me and they believed what I was saying was true. So it was really reassuring to know that they were sort of back in my corner and wanted to get to the bottom of what had happened, which wasn't, to be honest, what I was expecting. I was expecting them to sort of take a long time to get back to me, but no, it was very, very quick in succession, really, to what it could have been, to getting it dealt with and handled properly. When I found out that the gentleman had been arrested, I was actually a bit shocked because, again, I just did not think that they were going to find him. Didn't know anything of the lead up to how they found him or anything, so I guess I was happy because I thought, oh well, he is a real man, he's real, he exists, and then I was sort of apprehensive to find out what the next step was after that. I would say to people who will go through this, as it happens so often, that you're not alone, and definitely report it, because it does get sorted. As to the powers that they can do, they really try and get this sorted for you, and it's, you know, they understand that it's a bit of a difficult situation, and you might not think that anything's really been done wrong, but it isn't, right? People shouldn't be touching you in any shape or form without your consent. So it's really something that needs to be continually dealt with and addressed, or else it's just going to carry on, and who knows where it might go to.
"90% of people wouldn't report this. Would you report it to stop it?"
Yep, brings a lot of memories back, to be honest, and it wasn't even as busy as that. Yeah. This kind of accident, or incident should I say, has happened to quite a few of my friends who didn't know if it was worth reporting, and consequently didn't report it. But this was before I'd experienced what I'd experienced. But from what happened to me, I've been very open with what happened since the case was brought to trial and he was found guilty. Before that, I was quite subdued and just talked about with family and very close friends. But yeah, since that, I've been very open with what happened, because I think it's important, because it happens that often. It probably will happen to one of your friends or one of your family members, especially if you're in London, and the more people who are made aware that this kind of thing is not acceptable, the more likely it is to stop. So I think it's one of those things where you only know how you're going to deal with it when it happens, and rightly or wrongly, I dealt with it how I dealt with it, and thankfully I got really positive sort of ways to make it sort of come good for me by reporting it. So I guess it can't be all bad.